Hello friends and welcome back to my shop where I build things like this. Since there's only one of me in the shop, my time is at a premium, and the one thing I hate doing is wasting it. And sometimes when I'm building my pens, for the most part, I understand the process of how to go through everything, what to build when, and that works out great. But occasionally, I forget one thing, and that means I have to waste time by going back and changing setups and redoing it. So I built this process control board to hopefully help me fix that. This is just a fancy way to say I built a board that has little spots with colors and magnets and pretty things to look at that'll guide me through production and never let me basically make a part too far in advance of the next part, which helps a ton. So this production sheet is very similar to the Pearson boards. NYCNC did a great video on it. John Grimsmo did a great video on it. I initially, years ago, built this exact, or not this exact one, I built version 1 of this, and I never used it. It was too granular. I wasn't building enough products. I didn't have enough parts. It became a thing just to do alongside the work. It wasn't helping me do my work. It was just adding to my work. So I got rid of it, thought about it forever, and I think now I have a better method. I also have a lot more parts now, and trying to keep them all in my head, while it's easy to do, there's no reason it should be in my head. And the more pens I'm starting to do, the more I'm finding it's easy to kind of get sidetracked and do something that shouldn't be done until a later state in the game, and it's wasteful. I want to be efficient, so that's why this is here. How this works is not rocket surgery. You should be able to look at it and quickly understand how it functions. I basically follow down the rows with 2 magnets. 2 magnets let me know that's kind of my active position. Once I hit a colored block, that colored block tells me where to go. I leave 1 magnet and move forward and grab 2 and carry on forward again. So at any point, if I just look at the board, wherever there's 2 magnets, that's the stage I'm currently on. And by using color-coded blocks like that, I don't have to jump down it chronologically. I just conveniently put bodies at the top because that's the operations I start on. But I could have put that in the middle as well, because by using the colored blocks, it lets me jump around without having to think about it or anything. And seeing colors on the board is way faster for me. I can just look and immediately see where pink is, as opposed to having to read words. It's slower, at least for me. So that's why I did it that way. Another thing I also did was make all the fonts my own handwriting. I'll link below. There's a cool website where you can generate your own fonts from handwriting. You just write on a piece of paper and scan it, and it generates computer fonts that you can download to your computer, totally free. That way, when I printed this board out, if I ever have to add blocks or if I want to write on it, I can just write with a Sharpie, and it doesn't really stand out. It's not like text to writing, something where my brain's going to kind of pick up and want to look more. It'll match perfectly, and also pleases my brain that it'll match perfectly. I also made all the squares sizable enough so that if I want to print on magnetic sheet, you can buy a magnetic sheet that you can print on, or stick vinyl onto it, or just write on it with a Sharpie and cut out little squares. And I could put those squares over the existing ones if I want to change orders, or if I want to add operations down the line, or even if I wanted to go over the entire thing, I could put squares everywhere if I didn't want to reprint it. There's just a lot of options. I tried to make it as basically as customizable as I want, because I know I'm probably going to change it as things evolve. As it's written, this is the most efficient way I've found to make my pens so far, but maybe I'll find a better way in the future. So I tried to make it a little bit more customizable. Also, if you want to do something like this, I'll link below. I drew this all up in Inkscape. I'll link a template below where I stripped all my information from it, and you can just print it off and write on it with your hand, or make your own font and do the same thing I did. So yeah, anyways, that's linked below as well. So the goal for this thing is get all the magnets into the done row. The reason it says done instead of complete is because I didn't have a lot of room in that box, so the word done fit better. But if I get all the magnets in the done row, that means I have all pens built and I have stock built and people haven't purchased it and they're just waiting to be purchased. That's ideal. I don't think I'll ever get to that state, but if I do, that means I can move on to other projects and I can build another one of these for a different product I make, which I have like 5 in the pipeline that I want to produce, but I got to get better at making the one I currently have before I just increase my offerings and then decrease what I'm actually able to make. So yeah, that's the goal. That's what this is, just to try to make things more efficient. Along that same train of optimization, another thing I did this week, as parts are running on the mill or on the lathe, is build little jigs and fixtures. So this is an alignment jig for one. This helps me align the bolt position. Hopefully, I would like to get the bolt position and the pocket clip within 1 degree. So this will help significantly in that regard. I built thread gauges, which I've never had in the past. I technically have, but these are masters and they're perfect and I very much like them. I made little cut-aparts of different parts of my pen so I can easily measure them in the reel as opposed to in CAD. Sometimes if I want to change something or modify something, it's easiest to look at it and be like, oh, I can't do that because of this. Like I said, I can do it on the computer, but there's time that it takes to open Fusion and open that specific part and look at it. And if there's an update, then it slows down. Like having something that is just physical and sitting and ready just makes things faster. I talked about in the last week's video of getting a faster mill or getting another lathe or something like that is beneficial to me. But until I'm running these things at their absolute maximum capacity, I'm still the slow part. So everything I'm doing for the next few months is just trying to get me more out of the loop and get the machines into the loop because they're just infinitely faster than I am at doing things. Yeah, we'll talk more about that next week, all these cool jigs and stuff, because they deserve their own video. But yeah, anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you next week. Take care. Do whatever it is that you love doing.